I'm here with Miami head golf coach Zach Cedric. Coach, we're here to talk about National Signing Day. What can you tell us about what you look for in your recruits?
Well, obviously it starts, and there's a couple ways at the beginning of the recruiting process. If you're looking at golf, there's two sides to it. You're obviously how they perform. You're looking at state level tournaments, regional, national level tournaments. So, on paper, you can, and through the rankings, you can kind of see where players fall there. But, it really comes down to evaluating someone in person. And a lot of the things that I guess I look for really revolve around that ability to adapt. On a driving range, it's nice, it's flat, the grass is short, you can pick your target, and you can get into a groove and look pretty good. But around a golf, there's so many different things that can happen, and every shot is different, and there are going to be runs where you're playing really well and runs where you're not playing as well, and how do you handle that, and how do you adapt to just all the different situations that competition gives you. And that ability to adapt is a really it's a really important skill set. It's kind of the foundation of really what I'm looking for from a skill standpoint in a player. Once that gets figured out, then it's is it a fit? Is it fit with Miami, and is it a fit with our program's culture? And, really, I want guys with big goals and big dreams and see a lot for themselves in the future, but at the same time, they have to want to be a part of something that's bigger than just themselves. And because golf is an individual game, and we definitely respect that, but it's a team sport in college. And, the environment that we have, our standards are all really centered around the fact that, this is a team, and we are going to be a team, and we have goals that we are accountable to as a team, and we're going to work toward them together while players are improving individually and working toward those goals that they have for themselves once they leave here.
So you have one student athlete signing a national letter of intent. And what can you tell us about him and also what he brings to your team?
Yeah, Danny Fisher from Lake Forest, Illinois. He had shown interest, fairly early on in high school, and it was very obvious from the beginning that Miami was really, at the very top of his list. And he's definitely a late bloomer, and someone that sophomore and junior year. You could see he had some skill, but, he still had a ways to go. And I remember being at a tournament early part of May and really being blown away by the amount of progress he'd made over the winter. Like, you could tell that he had really worked very hard on improving from November through April. And, from that point on, I just really continued to be impressed with how much his game had developed. And then the more we had gotten to know each other, it was obvious that he's someone that's very, very self-motivated. He's a very hard worker. There are guys that want to get better at something, things, whatever it is. And there are guys that have to get better. And Danny's one of those guys that, he's got to get better, and he's going to figure out whatever he needs to do to get there. Getting to know the instructor, the coach that he's been working with. He's getting good instruction. He's going to continue to get that until he gets here at school. He also started playing at a club that a couple of our current guys, Charlie and Brian, and then Patrick Flavin, they all belong to. And it's a great environment. There are a lot of good young players out there. So Danny's eyes are already open to what it takes to play at a high level. And I think that is such a tough part of the transition from high school to college, I think, in any sport, but especially golf, because golf, you just look at scores, and someone looks at the results on Golf Stat. It's like, well, I'm shooting those scores right now. And high school to college golf, it's at least a 2-shot differential. And then the fact that you're making a life adjustment on top of it adds to it that much more. But, Danny's been around not just our guys, but a lot of guys, a lot of players that have been All-Americans at the college level, that are trying to play professionally now, that have played PGA Tour events. Like Danny's around these guys, so he knows, okay, this is what it takes. So, that part of the transition, it's already taken care of. So, so he brings a lot of great things to the table, but just his work ethic, his desire to get better, but the fact that he really believes that he can play an important part in us becoming an elite level program. I think that's really the foundation of it.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.